Hey, in lesson 101, we're solving problems that have ratios, but we need the total to find the answer. At first, with these problems, you're going to think they haven't told us enough, but they have if you just do a little bit of logical thinking. I think that's kind of a fun thing. Remember what a ratio is? Just a ratio means it could be any number compared to a number. All right, and so we're thinking things like 2 boys to every 4 girls or something like that. If I said that, 2 boys for every 4 girls, in the most simplified form, then I could also say I know a total. For every 2 boys, there's 4 girls, and in that situation, there's 6 people. 6 total. And that's going to be kind of that big key to realize that logic. Remember with comparing ratios, like if I know 2 to 4, and then there's actually 100 boys, remember with a proportion then, to find this missing amount, the easiest thing to do is cross and set equal to each other. 2 times I don't know has to equal 4 times 100. Okay? And how do I find this number? First, let's multiply the right side. 400. 2 times I don't know. And then we divide the 400 by 2 to get the I don't know. So, in this case, this number is 200. Okay? Just some basic things to help prepare you. We're going to do a couple examples. Remember ratio boxes, they can be very helpful, or you can just draw like a T like this. And then just make sure you're labeling ratio, actual count, boys, girls, total, like I was just doing. That'd be fine. If you want to draw a line here, keep it separate, that's fine. You don't have to draw the box around. You don't have to do that. But in this problem, we have a ratio, boys to girls. Order is key. Always follow the order they do, because they're going to. You can't switch those numbers around. 5 to 4. Okay? Boys to girls, 5 to 4. Also important to be labeling, to know what each number means. Follow the order. If there were 27 total students, all right, that's the actual total, all right? Actual total goes over here. All right? That's this total of the actual amount. Well, what's the total in the ratio? If it's 5 to 4, we just add those two simplified amounts to get 9. We put that in the ratio total. And then the actual counts total helps us. They ask us how many girls were there. Okay, so we just follow this ratio. We want to find girls. We don't care about boys right now, so we just kind of cover up what we don't need. Cover up what we don't need. Now I've got a proportion. Do you see it? What if I put an equal sign here? Does that help? Now we just solve the way I talked about how we solve proportions, right? We cross and set equal. 4 times 27 has to be the same as 9 times g. In a calculator, I think this would be 94. No, 28 plus 80, 108. Is 9g. And how do I get the g to be equal to, what do I need to know? I need to divide this by 9. And that'll tell me my answer, I think. So we're solving for just this part. And then as a result, once I know this, I could actually find this too. But let's see, did 108, is that right? That seems like an odd number. Well, I guess it does divide into 12. They don't even show what this equals, because I guess it doesn't really matter. If it is 108, apparently divide it by 9. Yeah, that makes sense. You get 12. So G is 12. We used a proportion to solve. If we wanted to find the number of boys, we would have used the boys row with the total and matched up everything the way it should be. In a football player example, you have football players to band members 2 to 5. Notice how they set up their ratio box. Order is important. They follow football players to band members 2 over 5. What's the implied total then? You add up 2 plus 5 and put 7 in the third box now that we need to use. Because they told us 175, these boxes match up. There's 175 total people. They say football players and band members. It's the same as saying total on the football field. Then they ask about what's football player. If you want, you can even cover up with your finger then on your ratio box, the part we don't need. And there, lo and behold, you have yourself a proportion that you solve. If you don't remember how to solve proportions, you're going to want to go back and review that first, because that's how you're actually going to find answers here. Is that the only other example they had for us? Yeah. I'll do letter B. You can do A and C. Let's try that. Raisins and nuts were mixed by weight in a ratio of 2 to 3. Raisins, nuts, total. 2 to 3 total. Ratio, actual count. Okay. Keep it all organized. I think this line's important. It's kind of messy, but it'll get me to where I need to go. What do they need to know? 60 ounces of mix. Which does that match up with then? Raisins, nuts, or total? Sounds like total. It's mixed. They didn't tell us one or the other. 60 ounces is actual count total. What are they looking for? Raisins or nuts? Raisins is where we're focusing. This is the one we need to know. Cover up the one you don't. That's unneeded information right now. It's not going to help us get to the answer. So I have 2 over 5 is, let's say, R over 60. And I'll rewrite it over here. 2 over 5 is R over 60. Cross multiply and set equal. 120 is 5R. Divide the 120 by 5 to get rid of the 5 and tell me what R is. 5 into 120 fits 24 times, I think. I think R would be 24. And if you wanted, you could find now N too using what we know, but it doesn't say we need to. It just says, double check, did I answer the question? I did. You do now. Ratio problems that involve total, letters A and C, and